The most important gift leaders can give, today on BCP. Hey there, Proud Nation. Merry Christmas and welcome back to the show. This is a special episode, our Christmas episode 2018. I'm not going to give you the normal spiel. My name's Carter Harkins and Taylor Hill's here with me.
I'm here again for Christmas.
Christmas, yay! Wanted to talk about something I think is on point. When, it's the season of giving, I guess, right. If you want to, if you really want to dip into the seasonal cliches.
The jargon.
Yeah, but it strikes me that a lot of what we've talked about is customer service. Mm-hmm. A lot of what we've talked about is communication, and all of those have leadership components. Just here in the past 3 or 4 weeks in the episodes that we've done, and we're wrapping up this year and reflecting back on lessons that we've learned and leadership things that we've discovered. And I've really been tracking a lot with Simon Sinek, but who talks about leadership quite a bit. And I think it's relevant to talk about today on a Christmas episode about the most important gift that leaders can give their people. Mm-hmm. It's not a bonus check, it's not anything like that. This is something I think is really pretty profound. But in order to understand it, you've got to really understand the philosophy of leadership, which is that the purpose of leadership is to create more leaders. That the reason that you're a leader is to help other people step up and become leaders too.
Yep.
And when you do that, then so a couple of quotes, and I'll set the stage for our conversation here by just reading these quotes. This one's from Winston Churchill. Excuse me. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And then there's this quote from Simon Sinek. The courage of leadership is giving others the chance to succeed, even though you bear the responsibility for getting things done. So maybe I just start by asking you, what are your thoughts about those two quotes and how they relate to your philosophy of leadership?
So I think growing up, I was always taught that what leadership is if you're a leader, you're at the front of the room, the front of the line, and you're just, the Pied Piper. Come on, follow me, and let's go. And you're going to show people where you're going to go, and they're going to follow you, and you're going to get there, and it's going to be great. And I mean, that was what leadership was kind of taught. And so, you had to be charismatic and, just fake people out and let them know that you think more about where you're going, because sometimes the loudest voice in the room is the one that everybody's going to go, yeah, let's go there, that kind of thing. And so you grow up thinking that, so maybe I'm not a leader because I'm not the loudest in the room, and maybe I'm not a leader because, I'm not at the head of the class, and maybe I'm not a leader because I'm not the one that is always running for the class president or running for this, or being the most voted the most successful, or the what I'm saying, that kind of a deal. But we're taught early in life, even today I see it, that's what leaders are. And then you grow up and you see real leaders. I'm gonna pull one that I think people would agree with. Oprah Winfrey. And she gets the spotlight a lot. But if you've ever heard her talk, man, there is a mechanism behind her and people behind her that's been with her for years. Producers, directors, just people who won't go anywhere else and it's not devotion to Oprah, it's devotion to a cause. I mean, she has led her people to a cause greater than herself. And they all know how much she appreciates them, which I think is interesting. So she has created, they bring stories to her. They bring things to her. Oprah doesn't go out and find all this stuff. She's got people that she has brought up and given them responsibilities and authority, in her business, and trust them. And that's what leadership really is. It's the quiet things. It's the things that are under the surface that most people don't see. It's raising people up to take things on that they would have never thought that they would be able to take on. It's giving them hope and opportunity. To me, that's what leaders do. Leaders aren't bombastic. Leaders don't, while they may be in the spotlight, they're more thrust in the spotlight than choose the spotlight, if you will. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything about a spotlight at all. Some of the most profound leaders that I've ever known blanched at the idea of giving the toast at a gathering, or being in the spotlight, or having to publicly speak, or anything else.
But my point is, we're taught that that's what leaders are.
Right.
That's what my point is. And so we think they're leaders because they're in the spotlight, but they're not.
Right. Exactly.
They're leaders because what they do.
Because people follow them.
Because
they're empowering the people that they lead to become their best selves. And an idea, a leader who is fully actualized, I guess that's the best word for it, even though that sounds kind of woo. Somebody who's truly walking in the leadership role fully, is someone who is looking around at what needs to be done and finding the right fit for what needs to be done, and then empowering them to go find other people who can do it and take responsibility for getting that done, and then helping that person finding out whatever it is that's blocking their ability to get done what they've been entrusted with, and helping them figure out how to remove those obstacles and those challenges. And that can be done very quietly. Mm-hmm. That's not standing on the mountaintop and going, you do this, you go here. It's just quietly sort of making sure that the people that are needed in the organization to do what the organization is in existence to do, mm-hmm. that they're empowered to do it, and that all the obstacles that stand in their way are being actively addressed, and the people that have been put in charge are being equipped, truly equipped, mm-hmm. to be able to be their best in that role.
Yeah.
And so let's contrast that, though. And we do this in our book, Blue Collar Proud, when we talk about two paradigms of leadership: the command and control style of leadership, which is one way, certainly. Mm-hmm. But the reason that it's so ineffective now is because we've had modeled for us by a lot of modern day leaders a whole different style. And even in military leadership, we've seen a different style of leadership emerge that is much, instead of being so top down, it's much more bottom up. Mm-hmm. And it's empowering people as close to the source of a problem as possible, empowering the people closest to it to be able to actually bring to bear resources to solve their problems, instead of having to go all the way back up the chain to the top in order to get approval to solve a problem, and then from the top all the way back down to the actual people that are going to turn the wrenches and mm-hmm. apply the solution. And so that style of leadership is more effective because it empowers people to bring their best. We talk about it in terms of what we've learned from a process that was implemented by a guy named Lynn Taylor. He runs Taylor Protocols in the Seattle area, and built an assessment tool called the CVI, which is mm-hmm. the Core Values Index. And we've really seen that applied in our business in a really transformative way. And one of the things that the phrase, I guess, that gets used a lot when you're going through a Core Values Index assessment is, we're looking to find your best and highest contribution. That phrase, best and highest contribution. The way that you're built, the way the core values that you ascribe to. How can you bring those things to the forefront in the work that we're asking you to do? What are you best suited for? What is your highest contribution? Because if we can give you a way of engaging with the work here in a way that fully brings out your best and highest contributions, then we know we're getting the most out of you in your role here, but you're also more engaged in what you do for us than you would be if we weren't tapping that best and highest contribution. So it's a win-win for the organization and for the individual. And so I think the role of leadership really looks like us trying to find out what someone's best and highest contribution truly is, and then enabling them to bring that to their job every single day as much as possible, to maximize as much of that as we can. And maybe that's another way of saying what leadership is, but it seems to me that it's a very accurate depiction of a true leader in an organization.
I want to get back to the giving part.
Okay.
In respect to that, because when you say the best and highest contribution, that could be misconstrued to say I'm going to use somebody's best and highest contribution to the benefit of the company. Well,
it could be, and I don't think you're wrong to say it that way.
Let me finish here. So while that's true, there's another truth to it, and that is when you are in the element of contributing your best and highest contribution, you are doing your best work, and you're in the zone. It is enjoyable. It is, it's the thing that you're built to do. And so when you're in that, there's an energy that happens. There's a happiness, a joy. It's amazing when you take somebody who is not even necessarily struggling in a position. I mean, they're doing the position. Yeah, they're competent in it. But when you move them into that area that is really their best and highest contribution, it's no longer just competent. They shine. And let me tell you, when you've got employees that are shining in the areas of which they work, they're loving it. So as leaders, that's why you're responsible for that. Because once you do that, yes, it's going to make a huge difference in your business, but it's making a huge difference in your employees' lives. And that is really the better gift that you can give as a leader.
So maybe we say it this way, that a leader's best and highest contribution is to allow others to give their best and highest contribution. I
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Something to think about at Christmas time.
It really is, especially if, I think one of the things that we do as leaders is we buy into some of the BS that people tell us what leadership is. And so we have to guard that and to understand that as leaders, our job really is to give. We are to give of ourselves in the pursuit of building other leaders that can go when we're no longer here.
Yeah. I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are if you're listening to this. How has the thought that you as a leader, that your responsibility is to give to your people, and what is that best gift that you can give them? I'd love to know what you think that is. If you agree or disagree with this or could expound on that, maybe a good place to do that during this holiday season is over in the Blue Collar Proud Nation Facebook group. Just add some thoughts. Let's talk about this. I think it's important for leaders to think about their role in equipping their people as sort of bestowing our best and highest contribution, to give a gift to them. Contribution, to contribute something is to give something. So think about that. And honestly, this isn't going to be a long show. This was sort of a thought that we thought we'd unpack here, just to challenge you as you're thinking. Sometimes when we slow down at the holidays a little bit, hopefully we've had a chance to slow down and be a little more introspective. Perhaps you're going to listen to this between Christmas and New Year's when things typically are a little bit slower. It's a great time to start thinking about who you want to be as a leader. what you want to do differently this upcoming year and how you want to grow the people who have signed on with you to try to do something big in your business. And it's a good time to think about those things. All right, we're going to stop it right there. Okay. Feedback, if you'd like to let us know how we're doing, we'd love it if you take a minute to leave us a review in iTunes. And also don't forget, you can download our show app, not buy it, it's free, over in the Apple App Store or from Google Play. Good content there, a lot of special offers and good things too. Also just a reminder that you can get a copy of our book, Blue Collar Proud, 10 Principles for Building a Kick-Ass Business You Love. It's available in paperback and Kindle versions at Amazon.com. And also a reminder to sign up for a Closing Commander demo with me over on closingcommander.com. Learn how this automated sales follow-up system can complete your existing sales process and help you convert up to 20% more of the opportunities that you've already paid to get. Most of all, just come hang out with us over in the Blue Collar Proud Nation Facebook group. Make yourself known there, introduce yourself, and let's welcome you to the group and just hang out together. You can find out about all the other places where you can connect with us by simply going to bcpshow.com/connect. And that will do it for this special episode of the Blue Collar Proud Show. As always, Taylor and I want to thank you so much for listening. I want to thank the people that make this show happen every single week. Aaron Blaze, our technical director, Jessica Wynn, our show coordinator, and Jonathan Sanders, our community manager. Until next time, remember that it takes the same energy to build a business that takes away all of your energy and all of your enjoyment of life as it does to build one that gives you everything you want and energizes you to get up every single morning. Build it that way. Merry Christmas, everybody. See you next time.
The Blue Collar Proud Show is a production of the Blue Collar Proud Network.